My name is Aaron. This is Edward, Kevin, Winston, and Pete. And basically, we all just met up here today, yesterday, it feels like one day, and decided that we would come up. Our app for social good is FoodMate. So, as our pitch stated before, it's basically an app to where you could go on and generate foods that were basically healthy for you, that would help you lead a decent lifestyle. And I remember one of our original ideas was that it would generate a shopping list for you, so we'll get into that as well. One other basic premise behind the app is that, people think, oh, you eat healthy, you eat right, it's going to be boring. That's not the case. We were actually able to go in and find an XML document from the Department of Nutrition, and they had somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 different just general foods to whole meals that we could go through. We did research on nutrition, basically what people would need if they were trying to lose weight, gain weight, maintain a healthy lifestyle, and we were able to sort our data by doing that. I guess I'll run you through the app, and then we can kind of talk about what we did to build the app.
Can you resize it?
Oh, first of all, one of the most important parts of this app, because it's more of a personal thing than something that we would be trying to pitch to people, is that we wanted to make it really user-friendly, and Edward did a wonderful job with this. He was actually able to use media queries, so it doesn't matter whether you are on the computer or iPad, so everything is going to kind of stay in dimensions. If you're at the grocery store, you're going to have the same user experience, where if you're at the house, just trying to figure out, like, sitting around with your family wondering what you wanted to eat. So we begin. You have two basic choices. You can either do lifestyles, and we had the idea just to prove, for kind of a proof of concept that we'll come back to in just a second, like different situations people might be in. But like I said before, like the general categories, you have gain weight, lose weight, and general nutrition. So yeah. Basically, the way that this is working is we have our front end done in jQuery Mobile. The application itself is being handled with PHP, and we figured that the fastest, most scalable way to do the data would be in Mongo. Basically, we chose Mongo because looking towards the future, it would allow us to easily update the database. It would allow us to easily add things into the database, and if things were old or outdated, we could easily take things out or replace them, and it takes up little to no space. It's fast and it's efficient. As far as the server environment that we're running on, we set up an Amazon EC2, so you could access this now and it would happen pretty rapidly. That was another big concern of ours, is that people are on the go when they're trying to do these types of things. They want it to be fast, so yeah. Let's see. As far as what we spoke about earlier with the different like lifestyle things, it's just kind of us experimenting in Mongo, seeing how we could do. I'm not really sure about the proper terminology to say it, but doing kind of like the subqueries in Mongo and the cross references. So we were able to take different criteria with our lifestyles and kind of like add them in with the data that we pulled out of our XML. So for instance, with the lactose intolerance, we could pull the fact that some things in the list had milk, they might have had cheese as a category, so we could take that and then run it against our other queries if you were lactose intolerant but still trying to gain weight because you're an athlete. That's pretty much all I have to say. It's pretty straightforward, self-explanatory. Does anyone have any questions?
I do. Can you talk about the algorithm that you came up with to do this association? And I don't see any personal information here that you put in,
like a personalized experience?
Kind of like, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly
we
like,
were aiming towards that. We didn't actually get towards making it, but that
Right.
would be like the end goal.
Right.
Like make it more personalized, like you put your name.
175
like,
on the site.
exactly.
list. I'm trying to do this, and it'd be nice to bring in that angle into that.
Like the idea would be like we want to implement like people who have like suffer from like I don't know like low sugar levels or diabetes or I don't know like they're concerned with their heart rates and stuff like that. We want to like provide options for like their lifestyles and maybe show them that there are like other ways they can like handle their nutrition. Like maybe show them that there's other ways of like gaining weight. If you're a diabetic, you have these set of options. Like,
Right.
Do you know if the Department of Health has these kind of, I'm not sure if algorithm or protocols for these kind of things, so like that you can take this information that they published and using those protocols with those lifestyle, you can guide them better, so like that will become, I'm not saying you're gonna put a FDA stamp on it, or maybe that's,
yeah, I mean,
you know
if,
what I
if
mean?
it's
Maybe because
feasible.
we're
Right.
following that protocol.
We actually came with, I mean, we didn't want to like delve too much into nutrition. We don't want to like kill someone.
I mean, basically, we spent a pretty good amount of time kind of trying to decide where to take the app.
Right.
At first, we had a whole bunch of things set out. If the person is, between 18 and 25, and they're 150 pounds, and they do this and this and that, and we realized that like it would be a much more fulfilling experience to kind of build the backbone of the application around like the fact that there's choice, the fact that there's options, the fact that like, whoa, even though I'm lactose intolerant, I might be trying to gain weight, but who would have known I could eat a grilled steak because per ounce I'm getting my 5 grams of protein and this and like it's more about like showing people that they do have the options. And from there, because of the technology that we built it on, I mean, we can really push it in any direction. It's very open. If you were to look at the I mean, I guess anybody would do it this way, but if you were to look at the source code that we used, like we have our algorithms, and then we have in other files just kind of like the variables that we played around with. If I could figure this screen out, I would show you a few of the other different algorithms that we came up with, because we had like Edward said, we wanted to cater more towards like people's health, people's conditions and such, rather than like cyclist, basketball player. So that's what we played around with, but these are the elements that we actually made a GUI for.
And generally, if you are trying to gain weight, the guidelines are pretty much the same. If you're an athlete trying to gain weight, you're not going to do too much different than someone else that's trying to gain weight, opposed to, just taking up your calorie intake a little bit more.
This is there's an Atlanta-based startup called Usable Health right here, and they actually have, apart from the thing they put in the dinner, they actually have another app or like product coming up which actually is kind of silent. They actually are ready to provide the data to whoever wants to use it. They go to restaurants, check like what does the food have, what is the nutrition content and stuff like that, and they do like correlated exercise, but you can also take the same data that they are providing, and they are working with all the government agencies to plug in. You can plug into their app and power yours also there.
They're in the building?
I'm not sure they're in the building, but they're an Atlanta based and they're also joining us.
Yeah, like this idea we basically like did from scratch. Like we basically started
Yesterday.
like 26 hours ago.
The guy who's like he's an HCI plus a doctor, so he'll actually be happy to talk. He's looking for some people who are interested in the same space.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
That'll be helpful.
Okay.
45 seconds for more
Why
questions.
don't you, what happened when you click on replace here?
That was a functionality that we were kind of trying to build on.
We didn't get quite to it.
We didn't really get quite to it. We got kind of focused on other things, but in the actual experience of the deployed app, we really wouldn't want to dump like all of this data on people, because like we said, you have so many different choices. So our idea was that it would give you like a random maybe 10, 15 choices when you click go, and then you could choose to replace them.
Yeah,
We kind of kept it there as placeholders just to remind ourselves like, hey, we need to add this functionality.
Another feature that we were, possibly thinking about is, the budget. But saving on people's wallets was also a main idea of the app, to where, say we could come up with the closest supermarkets with these items on sale. and that's something else that we're looking to implement in the future as
The
well.
most important part is that because it's built on top of Mango and Mongo, pardon, and EC2, that it can really be pushed in any of these kind of ways. It's,
All right.
it's scalable. It's open.
Judges, any questions?
So did you guys have much of a conversation about where you think this will really be used? Like, I'm thinking, is it while you're shopping, or is it more for sort of building something, you know, building a
Like-
diet for yourself, and then you're going and shopping?
Probably both. It could be, you know, it's fast enough to go, you know, to get things on the go. So you could be in the supermarket like, I was supposed to be eating right. I forgot you know, my list that I had at home. Let me just record that. Or, you know, just a starter for where, you know, if you are eating right, you can kind of sit at home and kind of plot out where you need to go and how you need to go about things. You know, maybe Walmart's having a sale on grapefruits, you know, and that's in your diet plan or whatnot. So that's why.
Have you seen Food UK? Food UK. It's an application. Food FOODUCAT. Food UK.
No.
Not seen
Check it
that.
out. It's. I think it's. It basically, it's an extension of what you guys
Cool.
have here. It's pretty neat. Check it out.
Awesome.